So now, in the wake of this Russell Brand thing, I've got my own drama going on in my own kind of like local area comedic milieu, like the Southwest comedy scene, with this woman, Louise Lee, who's been making accusations about a comedian friend of mine, Matt Alford, and this another comedian called Kev Mudd, who's been making accusations about Matt on social media. And well, I'm friends with Kev Mudd on Facebook for some reason. Maybe we bumped into one another at some point. I don't know. And yeah, ended up arguing. Well, not arguing really, but having a quite a civilized discussion really about this issue, like what has been going on with Matt and the messages he's supposed to be sending out of blue to girls half his age, and like, well, those are still adult women, and they're still, well, responsible for their own lives and for resolving any grievances they have with people in their own capacity as free agents in a civilized democratic society with systems of law established that devoted to dealing with these things. If it's a legal matter, then they need to lawyer up and, go get a lawyer and try and make a civil case out of it. And, haul Matt through the courts and whatnot for doing something inappropriate and seeking redress that way. Those are the systems we have in place for that. I don't really see why this issue needs to be taken, out on social media particularly. I don't see why, as reported, I should believe any of it just like on blind faith, without seeing what was said, in the conversations between Matt and these people, to gauge its severity and to make my own determination of it and to evaluate it. As I see the evidence, then I don't know, like, what can I compare it to? Like evidence of nuclear fission or something. You see a mushroom cloud, nuclear explosion. Like, okay, well, that's evidence. I believe that. Fine, that works. You can show me a picture of a mushroom cloud, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'll believe that possibly. If I believe that people would have done it, would have done those tests, which I also do believe. And if it strikes me as being something that's likely and plausible, and if I can make a determination as to its severity, mostly. I mean, when it comes to Matt, he's not being accused of anything like sexual assault or rape, thankfully. Otherwise, it could be a very serious business indeed, and the police could have to get involved and so on and so forth. But what he is being accused of is somewhat vague, unevidenced, and Kev Mudd, I did have a conversation with him. He's not the most reliable source of people himself. He also made a post saying that the amount of ice on Mars could fit inside one Olympic swimming pool if it was melted into liquid water. That ain't true. No. Alright, so the surface temperature of Mars is about minus 80 degrees or so. That's the freezing temperature of carbon dioxide. And he believes that most of the ice on Mars is carbon dioxide ice, i.e. dry ice, right? So, which is not the truth. About 1% of the ice on Mars is carbon dioxide ice. There's actually really a substantial amount of water ice on Mars. And I believed at one point that the mantle of Mars was largely layers of ice, since I read that, I think, somewhere in like a book from the 90s or something. And that was like the thinking back then, possibly. I don't know. And they've since changed it and updated it when it comes to Mars. I don't know like what the latest thinking about the composition of what its composition is. You see what I mean? I was wrong as well, and I realised I was wrong quickly and admitted it straight away. But this Kev Mudd guy kind of like digs in his heels and like doesn't do that. So it's a different sort of person that you're arguing with. When I'm wrong, it's like, oh shit, I'm right. I am wrong. And because I am wrong from time to time. People are wrong from time to time. I'm not totally reliable. Of course not. No one is. Um, I think I'm a bit of a lot of mainstream sources though. Like I'd say like listen to me instead of frankly Russell Brand on politics and things. I think I'm stronger than him on politics. I think I've got more realistic insights into things than he does. And yeah, but no, when it comes to this stuff, like it's not, it shouldn't really be. It's not something I want to know about. And I'm a friend of Matt's. I've known him for 7 years. But if he's done anything, well, I mean, it's very bad. Like it's unforgivable. Or done something, terrible. Yeah, then I might have to distance myself from him. But I think for this stuff, like I don't think I needed to know about it in the first place. I think because they're withholding the evidence from me. Also, I don't know what's been said. And now also because by the way, because I refuse to endorse their beliefs on blind faith alone, they're threatening to like ostracize me. Along with, well, I'm gonna stand with my fucking friend, thank you. And do the decent thing by fellow performer, who, by the way, like, is embroiled in this additional issue of joke theft, which is the thing that reeks most to me of corruption. And there's something very untoward going on here with James Cook, who is a more established comedian on the Southwest comedy circuit, who now does a bit about his twins, apparently 9 and 11. Whereas I've seen Matt do that bit for probably about 7 years since he roughly started comedy. Again, because he did comedy back in the day, I think he had that joke from back in the day and started doing it again on stage when he, was trying to do his comeback. Was staging his comeback at comedy and doing very well, being a great comedian, actually, a really good comedian. Yeah, very funny. A great headliner is what he is. The big headliner of the Bath comedy scene. Matt Alford started contemporaneous with him. It's fantastic. And yeah, I have never known Matthew to treat women disrespectfully. I've never heard of anything like that having happened in his life. He's a divorcee, and but I don't know exactly what went on there. I can't imagine him doing anything like that in a marriage, frankly. I can't imagine him being violent towards a woman. I can't imagine him doing anything sexually inappropriate to a woman. That's my assessment of him, if I were to have an assessment of anyone. I think Matthew is a cuddly, he's a friendly, buoyant, gentle person. Am I trying to take the piss out of this or not? I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm quite tired. This stresses me out. This causes me stress, and it worries another young comic that we know, Max Ponsonby. He got in touch with me. He's all worried about this because he lives with Matt, and he wants to know about what's going on. So we're all freaking out a little bit about this. This isn't nice. This isn't good. What's going on? And Louise Lee seems to be delighting in it. I'm sorry to say, loving every fucking minute of it. the juiciest gossip going lately. And Kev Mudd, I think, is probably self-congratulating a bit. And self-congratulating a bit prematurely because I don't think you understand that your positions don't look, like, frankly, all that brilliant. And are you just trying to score moral brownie points from one another by being the most incensed? Or trying to kick the high bar for being the most incensed? Or trying to reach the high piss mark against the wall as a lavatory that is the court of public opinion? Like, okay, well, can we have like the court of public opinion and then quality of analysis and weighing things on the basis of evidence? Except I don't know what the evidence is. I've asked for it. I've said that the details of everyone involved can obviously be obscured. I do need to know what was said. Do you see what I mean? It does make a big difference. It could be a threatening message that you sent or something like that. It could be, it could be a malicious communications thing almost. It might be a crime that's occurred. I don't know. So what was said? It's very, 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 very important that we know what was said so we can gauge the severity of of the events. If you follow my meaning. But no, I absolutely can't just take it on trust now, can I?